I don't do the minutes and stuff 'cause it's too hard. I'm doing this and
How are
I'm
you?
doing this.
Good.
I
Excellent.
still have issues with just going through
Having
the
a holiday
packet
party
because I
after
want them
this.
to be able to see it. in
A
case
what?
they don't
A
have
holiday
it or
party?
they-
Who says? I thought you were. I'm not feeling that festive. Are we ready?
Just about.
Zoe.
It's
Okay.
5:29.
Oh.
And look.
The light turns green when it's ready.
I was like, whoa. It was a new experience.
All right. Good evening, everyone. I call the December 5th, 2022 Planning Commission meeting to order. City Planner Houston, roll call, please.
Cole Mattson,
Here.
Steve Moore, Brent Beam,
Here.
Amber Gustafson,
Here.
Jana Casper,
Here.
Steve Lindos,
Here.
and Jenna Cayley.
Is there a motion to amend or approve the December agenda?
Chair Beam, I would like to add 2023 meeting dates for approval to other business and also move the 5-year capital improvement plan to other business as well.
Motion to approve the agenda with those changes.
Second?
Second. Okay, all in favor?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Is there a motion to approve or amend the minutes for October 3rd meeting 2022?
Lindos will move approval of minutes.
Second?
All in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Are there any citizens to be heard on items not on the agenda? All right, very good. So the first item is request of J&O Real Estate LLC for the following actions relating to Johnson Farms 7th edition. Part A is a vacation of easements within Johnson Farms 1st and 5th edition. B is a preliminary plat, and C is the final plat. Is there a motion to open the public hearing?
Motion to open the public hearing.
Second?
All in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. City Planner Houston, please provide the commission an overview of the item.
Chair Beam and Commissioners, the request is intended to facilitate additional residential development by replatting 32 existing single-family detached lots into 48 residential lots for 13 twin homes and 22 single-family detached homes. Due to the replatting or essentially changing the lot lines in this subdivision, there will be some previous easements approved that we need to vacate and then relocate for this new configuration. We have not received any public comments on the plat proposal. Staff is recommending approval of the vacation of easements within Johnson Farms 1st and 5th edition. Preliminary and final plat with the conditions noted in your report. And just as a matter of note, I need 3 separate motions for these items. The applicant is here, otherwise I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Are there any commissioner questions or comments? Are there any public comments? Is there a motion to close the public hearing?
I will move to close the public hearing.
Second?
All in favor?
Yes.
Yes. All right. Is there any more discussion or motion for the items?
I will move approval of the vacation of easements within Johnson Farms 1st and 5th edition.
We'll second that.
All in favor?
Yes.
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 I will move approval of the preliminary plat.
Second?
All in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
I will move approval of the final plat.
Second?
All in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Other business, reports and information. City Planner Houston, are there any other business items or reports for the commission?
Yes, we have a couple additional business items tonight, Chair Beam. Assistant City Planner Forrest Steinhoff is here, and he would like to update you on the Reimagine Romkey project, and then ask if you have any comments or a recommendation for the council.
Thank you, Robin. Good evening, Chair and Commissioners. Really excited to be here to talk about this project. We've been working with the Parks and Recreation Department to apply for the Outdoor Legacy Recreation Program grant. This is funded through the Land and Water Conservation Program through the National Park Service. And it's to reimagine Romkey, to rebuild the Moorhead pool, and then give the park a facelift. So the Romkey neighborhood was originally platted in 1955, and the pool was built just shortly after in 1958, making the pool 64 years old. And in our climate, the average pool lasts about 25 to 40 years, so it's way past its life expectancy. The OLRP grant has a couple of specific requirements, including being located in a city that has a population of at least 30,000. And this is new. Previously, it had cities had to be at least 50,000 in population. It has to align with at least one priority within the state comprehensive outdoor recreation plan, and it also has to serve communities which are historically disadvantaged. This grant is going to prioritize and feature robust community engagement, focuses on outdoor recreation, and expands opportunities to experience nature, reduce urban heat and pollution, and will provide innovative and sustainable site design. We previously had an open house on November 7th over at the Romkey Neighborhood Recreation Center, and had about 50 people in attendance that night, which was really great. We also sent postcard invitations to residents living within a 1-mile walking distance of the park, and had a website that was open for people to leave a little bit of feedback of what they would like to see at the park. There were 147 responses in total, with approximately 28% coming from the Romkey area neighborhood itself. We did separate all the comments from the rest of the community so that we could really prioritize exactly what the neighborhood wanted. And we're proposing a grant maximum project of about $10 million with a 1-to-1 local match. So we'd be providing $5 million. We're still working with the finance department to determine exactly where the $5 million is going to be coming from. But if we are successful with this grant application, we'll also be applying for other grants and going out for local community fundraising as well. And just to talk a little bit about what we're proposing for the park. So the pool is going to be staying in approximately the same location. It would be a little bit smaller than it is currently. It'd be going from about a 45-meter pool to a 25-meter pool with swimmable water. There would be a zero entry pool as well, and a splash pad just outside of the main gates. This way we could keep the splash pad open a little bit longer than the pool, open it up a little bit earlier in the spring if it's nice enough to do so. We're proposing to have a skate park area, 2 basketball courts and some pickleball courts, 2 different playgrounds. One is just a traditional playground, and then the other one would be a natural playground area. And then we're also looking at adding in a sledding hill, which could also feature some seating in order for a stage to be built outside, and then a small scaled-down soccer field. And then Holly Heidkamp, our Parks and Recreation Director, is also here tonight, and we'd be happy to answer any questions that you have.
Are there any questions?
Brent, you know me. There's questions.
Bring it on.
Commissioner Beam, if you don't mind, I have some questions. First of all, this looks fantastic, and I'm super excited about it. What is the rain garden? What does that look like? What does it do?
Sure. So rain gardens are for stormwater treatment. So whenever the rain falls, it would soak into this particular area, and then it would stand for either a certain amount of time and allow water to slowly percolate into the ground. And the plants that would be in there would help filter out some of the water to remove some of the pollutants that flow into the rain garden.
Great, thank you. The other question that I had was about the sledding hill. It looks green on the diagram here. I don't know if that, so the reason I'm asking is, this is totally personal, but I'm a runner and I can't train for hills in this town, okay? It's a problem. And if it's like, I'm just wondering if it's going to be constructed out of something I could run up and down, or if it's gonna, like in the summer months.
Yep, it would be built out of traditional black dirt, just mounded. So yeah, you could definitely run up and down it in the middle of summer if you wanted to, and you could even give yourself a challenge to try to run up in the winter too.
Okay, I will definitely do that. You don't even know. Like, I will totally do that. Again, this looks fantastic, and I really, really hope that you guys get your grant. Thank you very much.
I have a question. What sort of prompted the reduction in the pool size?
Holly, do you want to answer that one a little bit?
I think a couple factors identify the difference. Our current pool is, as he said, like 43 or 44 meters long. We're averaging about 250 people a day. Our current capacity is 650 people. So the pool is just simply too large for what our attendance is,
Fair enough, thank you.
and cost.
Yes, of course. All right. Are there any other? Please, Steve.
Sure. So first, this is great. The splash pad is going to make, I know, a few council members very excited. So great. In terms of the rain gardens, xeriscaping, this is kind of a draft plan. There's probably going to be more like details in terms of kind of involving. I assume this is probably a multi-department involvement when you talk about food forest and rain gardens and other things that trying to do prairie planting and other things like that.
Since you've received this plan, we've gotten that layer put into the plan, and you'll see that tomorrow, but there's prairie plantings, we're looking at clover for the grasses. So I think you'll see that tomorrow at the workshop. We continue to add things. It's a tight timeline, the grants due December 20th. So all of the layers that we're working on are still, this is still a draft, but you'll see those tomorrow.
Perfect. And then the natural playground, is that going to be basically, some of the trees that are coming down, we just like stack up some lumber and?
Absolutely. Some of the trees that we're removing, you'll see in our overlay of our draft, it's keeping as many trees as we can. But as we do take them out, we would take the emerald, the ones that are ash trees out. And those are the trees that we're talking about using in this, reusing them for this natural playground.
Stumps and
Do the
logs.
emerald ash borer.
That'd be great. Thank you.
Are there any other questions? Okay, thank you. Any discussion or a motion for the item?
Are we moving to recommend approval to the, moving to recommend approval
The
for the,
proposed site plan.
of the
Yeah.
proposed, okay.
And if there are any comments in addition to that, that now would be the time to add those in.
Anybody have any comments or? I would move to recommend approval of the site plan.
Okay.
Second?
All in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, next item would be the approval of the 2023 meeting dates. Is there, I'm sorry?
Rob, can we go to the CIP next?
Oh, see it.
I forgot to put that on your notes. It's my bad.
Okay. Is that in the agenda then?
Yep, it's on page 28 of your packet.
Okay, let me get that. Oh, okay.
This item is an annual item that you do every year. If there's been any changes to the capital improvement plan, it essentially is one of your duties as a planning commission. The engineering department has updated the plan since you approved it last time, so now this is a 2023 to 2027 plan. No major changes. They shuffled some of the mill and overlay projects a little bit. And in your packets, the map is color-coded by year, showing which projects. And The only highlights really for 2023 is the 11th Street South reconstruction from 2nd Avenue South to 6th Avenue South. I believe that's a project that some folks have been waiting on, and then mostly mill and overlay projects. This, so we do need a motion to recommend approval, so that you have there's a resolution in your packet to clarify that this meets the intent of the 2022 comprehensive plan, or it's consistent with your 2022 comprehensive plan.
Okay, and then just for clarification, this 11th Street portion does not involve underpass or anything like that?
This
Okay.
this is farther south of there.
Okay.
And Tom Trowbridge, the Assistant City Engineer, is here if you have any specific questions on the plan.
Okay. Are there any questions or comments from the commission?
I did have a question, and I apologize for not asking in advance. My recollection, and I'm sure I'm misremembering this, but there was something about the older the streets were, the more difficult it was to get them on the list to be repaired, because it would cost more. But I see some of those older streets now are green, which means they're going to get repaired. Like, for example, that 11th Street stretch is pretty terrible. And that's the kind of construction that, or the age, I think, of what people were saying was not getting fixed fast enough. Am I misremembering or mischaracterizing that in any way? And if I'm not, is this how is this impacting that?
Let Tom answer
Sure.
that.
So I would say that your memory is fairly close. Basically what it is, the first thing we look at in the plan is what the condition of the pavement is. And then we look at what are the options that we are able to do to try to improve it. And certain roads fall into a category where they're maybe not in very good condition, but they're also not totally falling apart. And so there's a lot of roads that don't look that good that we don't do anything to because they're not roads that we can do a mill and overlay with. So a lot of the roads in Moorhead that were built in about, the 50s, they were built of the type of construction was called, it would be either an oil and sand or something like that. But basically, it was a gravel road that they just mixed some oil into it and laid it down. And in that time in between, the city's done a lot of seal coats to it, and so it looks like it's a little thicker. If you tried chopping a hole in the pavement, it might look like there's this much asphalt there, or even this much with all the seal coating, but it's not real pavement, and so we can't mill and overlay it. If we tried to mill it, it would crumble apart. So those are the roads that our only option really is to reconstruct it, which is a lot more expensive. So we tend to delay those as long as we can. And I think an example of that is a few years ago, there were a couple of roads in North Moorhead that rapidly deteriorated, largely because there was a bus route change, and now buses were going down that route, and the road, it just couldn't handle it anymore. So we had to adapt and do it. Usually that doesn't happen, and so then the road is more on a slower decline. And so we try to take some of those roads every year, but if we do a lot of them, we just can't afford it. It overloads the plan. So,
Thank you. That answered my question. I appreciate it.
Are there any other questions? Okay, thank you. Okay, are there any public comments? Okay. Is there a motion to close the public hearing?
Sorry,
Oh,
that's why I
am I
moved this
jumping
one.
up?
This is not a public hearing.
Oh, there's no
So you just
public.
need a motion to recommend approval.
Okay, all right. Okay, is there a motion to recommend approval?
Are we moving to recommend approval of the changes to the 5-year capital improvement plan. Is that what we're moving?
You're recommending approval of the plan
Okay.
to the council.
I move that we recommend approval of the capital improvement plan.
Second.
Favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Boy.
Thank you.
All right.
Okay, now we can go to the other items.
Okay, what do we have left here? Meeting dates. All right. Is there any, let's see, we're going to be discussing the approval of 2023 meeting dates. Is there a discussion or a motion for the item?
Question. Clarification on Tuesday, January 10th. Is that going to conflict? Or actually, no, because Martin Luther King is the next week. So that's not going to conflict with city council, right?
No, because your council meeting would be that Monday.
That not 9th.
Or, excuse me. I checked it. The, pull up the calendar
The city
here.
council will be the 9th, and this will be the 10th. Yeah, so that should be okay.
Yes, because Planning Commission meets the first Monday, so whenever there's a holiday, we always move it to the following Tuesday. The reason we don't move it to the next Tuesday is because Moorhead Public Service meets on the first Tuesday, and then council will meet on the second Monday.
Yep.
So, yeah, thought I made a mistake there for a minute. But yeah, so the meetings in red are all due to legal holidays on the normal Mondays that you meet, so then we move it to the following Tuesday.
Any other questions, further discussion? Okay. Is there a motion to approve?
I will make that motion to approve.
Ern?
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Yes.
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 I didn't mean to hog all the motion.
All right. Fine. Is there, let's see,
Got two more items.
two more items, yes.
Thank you, Chair Beam, again. So the final, or really the final item is, there's a memo in your packet, and this is just information, especially for the new commissioners. We do just a summary of some of the other projects that came into the city this year that you do not see, so they don't need to come in for a conditional use permit or a rezone. So we usually do an update mid-year, so this is through November. We might get a couple more, but December is usually pretty slow for building permits. But there's some exciting projects that we're working on, so if you have any questions, just please let me know on any of those projects.
I have a question. It's on the Fairmont one. Is the building that still stands right now, that will be part, like that's good to go? They're gutting the inside and it's,
Yes, they'll
Okay.
be remodeling the historic creamery building, and then they'll put in a 4-story addition where they just demolish the older addition. They'll be, assuming they'll pick that back up in the spring.
this is just a personal question because I thought I had heard rumors. Is there asbestos in that old part that had to be abated?
Possibly, I
Okay,
don't know
don't
for
know.
sure, but most old buildings have asbestos, so.
Sure.
The developer will, remediate whatever he needs to remediate.
Thank you.
Okay,
Just the following item, Chair Beam. I thought Jenna was going to be at the meeting, so I
Yeah.
just wanted to acknowledge that this is her last, this would have been our last Planning Commission meeting, and I just wanted to thank her for her service. So I will forward her thank you from the Planning Commission and the City of Moorhead.
very good, thank you.
Mhm.
Is there a motion to adjourn?
I'll motion to adjourn. Second.
All done.